Hi. Hello. Welcome. I am Sean Glaze. I use they, them pronouns, and I am the Chief Consulting Officer for Inclusive Data. I am super excited, y'all, to be joining you here today as we kick off our very first day of announcing our new challenge. What? But very first, let me tell you this. My team, we have gotten over 18 million in 18 months for Black communities. And if you are not following us at Inclusive Data, now's your chance because we are going to be sharing lots of tools, tips, tricks, and excitement to bring in the fact that it is Black Philanthropy Month and Black Business Month, y'all. Both. And so we want to know what y'all do to celebrate. How we are celebrating is we just did an awesome walkthrough of this grant from Venmo, y'all. This Venmo grant, and if you don't know anything about it, here's the link, is due in just a couple of days. And we did a question by question walkthrough to make sure that our communities knew about this as an opportunity and how to approach it. When you're a team that has gotten as much money as we have for community, you get kind of used to just like knowing how to dissect one of these things. And we spent 45 minutes, y'all, going through every single question and talking about the specific strategies we would use to get this funding. Now, our business is not eligible, but if you are a small business that hasn't yet hit its $50,000 in sales this year, and if you've made at least $500 these last 3 months consistently, at least that much, then this is definitely something I would pay attention to. Awesome. Excuse me. So, but first, I see quite a few of y'all have come online. Wow. Hello. Hi, y'all. Welcome. Let me know where you're joining from, and I'd love to be able to say hi and shout you out. I am also going to go ahead and get started with my Instagram because I'm realizing that that is not something that's on right now. And if you're not following us yet, this is a good time to follow us on all of the channels because we are going to be celebrating Black Philanthropy Month and Black Business Month. It is that time. Black Philanthropy Month is a global celebration of Black giving, Black generosity, investing in Black communities. I'm really excited and proud to see so many ways that generosity shows up in my community. And it's just really cool to see many people coming together to invest in our community during this time. Awesome. I see y'all have already started to let me know where you're calling in from. Thank you. I love a good call and response. So thank you so much for joining from Michigan. If y'all do not see your comments here, it might be because we need to make sure that your StreamYard is talking to your Facebook. And I can show you steps to do that. But if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, that'll usually knock that out for you. So go ahead and let me know where y'all are calling in from. It's so good to see you. I'm also going to go ahead and hit this live button here on Instagram so we can be in multiple places. We are currently on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram now is loading. Hi, Instagram. Let's see if it's going to fall for me. No, don't fall. Okay, hi, Instagram. Hi, Facebook. Y'all, there is this grant that is out right now, literally right now, that I want to make sure y'all know about. It is for you business owners out there who haven't yet gotten your $500 or $50,000 mark in revenue for this year. A lot of you are real close, but you're not quite there. Just got started and you're finding it's really hard to find funding when you're just getting started. Am I right? I see, hey, luxury travel by Belvin. We have St. Louis in the house. We've got New Jersey in the house. Love it. You East Coasters, isn't it a little late there? I am happy you're here with me. And for those of you on Instagram, let me know where you're joining in from as well. We are talking about this Venmo grant, y'all. This Venmo grant that's out right now. I am so excited about it. So if you're joining us on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or any of those other places, I want to make sure you have the link to this opportunity. It is venmo.com/business/small-business-grant. You can also see this. Hey, y'all. We got Virginia joining from Instagram. Hey, Virginia. Yes. So y'all, Venmo itself might have a link if you sign into your business Venmo right now. you may see a link directly to apply. We talked about all of the steps that you need to take in order to be successful for this seemingly very simple opportunity. And we want to make sure that y'all are aware that some of the things, that you need to do aren't exactly as crystal clear as you might want. I see Corey here from New Jersey. Hi, Corey. I love it. Y'all just showing me so much love today. I'm here for it. I really appreciate you. I am joining from Seattle, Washington, and it is just so cool because it's been a minute since I've done this before. I see Michelle is here. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, me and my crew are doing pretty good. Y'all, we are the crew that's gotten over 18 million in 18 months for Black businesses, Black nonprofits, Black communities. If you are a Black person, I want you to know that there are grants out here for you. They don't all have to be hard to apply for. And sometimes, they're so easy that you might actually mess up by just doing common mistakes. So if it's okay with y'all, I'd be happy to share with y'all some of the most common mistakes beginners make when applying for grant funding. So yes, we did a walkthrough from every single question earlier for the people who are in our free challenge that we have at this month. But I'm happy to share with y'all, what are some of the most common mistakes that beginners make? Oh, Instagram's blowing up. I see 100%, 100%, 100%. Okay, you want that? It's okay. I can do those tips for y'all. Is that okay? I wasn't planning to, but I'm happy to do it. I want y'all to be successful in these applications. I want you to understand that, sometimes the things that really keep us from getting funding isn't what we say, it's what we don't say. Sometimes the things that get us in the way of our funding is not asking for enough money. And so I want you to know some of the basic things that you could do in order to get more grant funding. So if that sounds like something you want to see, I want to see yes, me, tell me. I want to see some kind of excitement, some type of response that lets me know that this is what you're here for. And if you are just joining us, hi again, I'm Sean Glaze. I use they, them pronouns. I'm with Inclusive Data. Our team, right? Our team has gotten over 18 million in months for Black communities. And we do that through grants primarily, but we also do sponsorships, sales, other stuff. But that's just the grant funding. Can I hear this for grant funding, free money, other people's money? Are we here for that? Are we ready to act? Let's see. I see a lot of responses. I see yes. Awesome. Sweet. Okay. Yes. Let's do it. Yes. Let's do it. Let's talk. Oh, I see that. We got Miss Ferguson here says grants. Yup. Let's talk grants. Awesome. So we are talking about, Michelle said it well, OPP. Other people's paper, other people's pockets, other people's, right. So just we want to make sure that we know how to get to that bag. And a lot of times the things that get in our way is just not knowing about an opportunity. So in the chat, I have this broadcast, but for those of you on Instagram, let me just kind of type this link for you so that you can see it. You're going to go to https:// those 2 slashes, venmo.com, right, /business. You're going to need a business profile for this one, y'all. This is a small business grant that they launched a couple days ago. And a lot of y'all have not been applying for this. I know because I asked you and you were like, nope, I don't know anything about that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me just tell you about it. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the most common mistakes folks make when applying for grant funding. And I'm going to really focus it around the kinds of mistakes that can get you in trouble for this grant. I could spend a lot of time talking about mistakes in general, but I want to give you mistakes related to this grant because I want some of y'all to go ahead and apply. Now, for some of y'all, what you're gonna do is you're gonna want to make sure that you sign up for our challenge. Why? Because in that challenge, y'all, we have a full detailed breakdown, question by question, for how we apply. And so if you're not in our free challenge, which you definitely want to be, in our free challenge as a Black person, a Black business, a Black nonprofit, a Black community member interested in funding, you're going to want to be in this challenge. I'm going to see if I can get this link to post to Instagram so that y'all can be taken care of too. But yeah, if you go to inclusivedatachallenge.com, you're going to want to make sure you go there. Let me pin that for y'all, because that is where we do that detailed walkthrough. What we're going to do for y'all is we're going to do some common mistakes that beginners make. So if you want to follow along, you can open up this grant application that we talked about, or you can just listen to me, take some notes, and then check it out later. So let's get to it. There are 5 key mistakes I want y'all to avoid for this very simple application, right? 5. Now, the first one is going to be pretty basic. You're going to like roll your eyes at me, but I promise you, if you actually pay attention to what I'm saying, you will have way more success than just reading through the summary. And the first thing I'm going to say is, like, a lot of beginners do not take the time to read the terms and conditions for these online grants. Now, y'all read other stuff, right? Like you read like the details about how much money it's going to be, when it's due. You might even read the actual grant itself. I'm going to share my screen. So if you're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc., you can see my screen. For Instagram, I'm just going to flip the screen around. You're going to get the standard Sean screen share on this one because I don't know how else to do it. But yeah, let's check this out. So a lot of y'all, when you look at this grant, you're going to read through, you're going to read this section here. Oh, let me switch this. You're going to read through, you're going to read this section here by that apply button, right? Yeah, there we go. But like what you really need to do is scroll down and you need to read this part. You see this part here, y'all? It says, I agree to the terms and conditions. Y'all see that part? Y'all see that part? Y'all let me know if you see that part. I don't even know. Like, I don't know if my camera's working. Y'all, like, let me know. Like, I'm a little embarrassed right now. I want to make sure you can see this, okay? Because you're going to, like, when you see what I'm about to show you, you're going to realize what I mean by, like, a lot of times you beginners, you end up, like, knocking yourself out the beginning because you don't do this one part. So I see a few people are saying, like, yes, I can see this. Yes, I see that. Okay, cool. Now, you think I'm being funny, but I'm going to show you something. So here we are again. We're at the terms and conditions. Now, I want you to read the whole thing, but the part that most of y'all are going to miss, because you're going to stop here at the section that talks about eligibility. Like a lot of y'all know to look at eligibility, which is great. But what you don't know is if you just kept scrolling down a little bit longer, you get this section. This juicy section right here. That section right there tells you some additional details for how they're going to determine who's the winner. Y'all, a lot of times we miss that, right? Because we're so eager to get to the bag and we don't have time. But like you beginners, a lot of times, like you don't keep reading for that part. And people who write grants a lot, we're often looking for that kind of thing because those are the cheat codes to success, y'all. And for those of you who are joining on the StreamYard, I'm going to start just like putting what those main points were here so you can see. But really, again, that detailed question by question breakthrough, like how I would actually apply this to this grant, that's in our challenge. Like right now, like if you go to inclusivedatachallenge.com and you register, you get in that Facebook group, that detailed breakdown is in there, right? Like it's just like, here's how it answers the first question. Here's how it answers the second question. You know, that's in there. But tonight we're talking about this. Here are the kinds of things y'all would be missing out on. Point breakdown for how much percent questions are worth with like details about what they're looking for. Venmo for this grant, they're looking for stories that are inspirational, right? They want stories that are innovative. They want stories that are particularly original. And if you have ever been that person that's like, I don't have an original story, Sean, I wish I did. I'm going to say this. The tips that I gave you in that inclusivedatachallenge.com replay, I can tell you how to take a story that doesn't feel original and help it feel brand new and exciting. So definitely check that out. We also know that while that is worth 30% of the score, They're also going to ask y'all, how does your application demonstrate passion, right, for your business, those concrete plans? So mistake number 2 for beginners when you're putting together these grant applications is y'all will take a question like this and you'll answer part, right? It'll be a 2-part question and y'all give it 1 part. We need a 2-part answer to this. So sometimes it's easier for me to separate these out into 2 lines. So I'll have, like I'll talk about like, hey, here's my passion, and hey, here are my concrete plans. If that works for you and your brain, do that. There is no shame. If you need to tell a more cohesive story, do that. There is no shame. However is going to work for you is what you should do. You don't have to suddenly become a different kind of person or a different kind of writer to get these grants, right? You just have to know the play. And here, because you did that step 1, right? Review the whole term and conditions, you got the judging criteria. A lot of you beginners don't do that. That's the good news for y'all though. Here, us, right? Us, is that y'all now know. So like there are going to be hundreds of applications that are not going to understand the assignment. And this next piece here about like what they're looking for, demonstrating that you're using a Venmo business profile that'll continue to benefit the business, that you know how having a Venmo business profile is going to help your business. That's in the terms and conditions. Technically, anyone can read it. But if you miss that first step about eligibility criteria, you would not be able to know this. This is not spelled out clearly in others' parts. And so for sure, check that out. And notice how that is a significant part of your score. And if you keep reading the terms and conditions, you'll find out it's even bigger than what you might anticipate. And then lastly, they want to know like how being a member of a historically underrepresented community, so Black, women, Latinx, etc., shapes your entrepreneurial experience. And so remember, reading those details there in the terms and conditions can really help set you up for success. Also, like it's just really helpful for knowing like that this is weighted 20%, whereas some of the other categories are rated a little higher. And so I'm doing a little check-in. Are y'all still here with me? Are these good tips? Are we doing good? We okay? Like we hanging in there? Let me know. Shaquana says, this is some good tips. Thank you, Shaquana. Y'all might not know this, but I definitely am someone who benefits from a good positive feedback. I like to know that what I'm doing is actually going to be useful for y'all. So definitely let me know if this is really like doing it for you in terms of helping you get set up for success as it comes to these grants. And for those of you who just joined, hi, I am Sean Glaze. I use they, them pronouns, and I am the Chief Consulting Officer for Inclusive Data. We're the team that has gotten well over 18 million in 18 months for our communities. So Black folks, we have gotten so much money for Black folks. We also have done a lot of work in community to make sure that y'all know how to get to the bag for free. So if you're not already registered for our free challenge where we help Black folks talk to each other about how to get more money, you need to do it because it's free. Like literally, I'm just so excited to share with y'all because it's Black Business Month and it's Black Philanthropy Month and it's time for a challenge. For those of you who don't know, our challenges have generated well over $800,000 from people who have followed the directions from our free challenge and gotten grant funding. So if I could tell you that there is a free freaking challenge that other Black folks have used to get collectively over $800,000 since December, like not even like a year, y'all, like, wouldn't you like want to show up? I think you would, right? So go ahead, go to inclusivedatachallenge.com so that you can get in here with us and get these tips. You can also, if you sign in now, get the walkthrough for this Venmo grant, because I just shared with y'all 2 tips that beginners really could use to help make their applications more successful. And so I really want to make sure you know about these things so you can get where you need to go. So definitely awesome. Like I see some of y'all want to DM me. That's cool. Definitely make sure you're registered for the challenge too. I don't want you to miss out on these free resources. All right. So should we keep going? Should we talk about some more tips to help y'all beginners get this money? Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that y'all can get what Michelle has started to call OPP. We want to make sure you get other people's paper. I know for some of us, OPP means something else, but we want to make sure that y'all can get and leverage other people's paper. A lot of the most successful businesses and successful nonprofits are able to really leverage other people's dollars to take their business to the next level. In fact, whether it is generational wealth that is handed down to them, or wealth from the banks, wealth from venture capitalists, right? There's all these different kind of funding, but grants, y'all, grants, it's time. It's time for us to be getting some free funding and not have to trade some of our company for it. So I definitely really appreciate y'all. And it looks like we can keep on keeping on. Awesome. Thank you for so much. Thank you so much. Awesome. So we got a few more tips for you beginners out there. If you're a beginner, and you're looking at an application like this Venmo grant that we're looking at, which again, I'm going to go ahead and drop that banner again so y'all can see where we can find this grant that we're looking at. This is a real live grant that is due in like 2 days. And it's real easy. It seems real simple. In fact, it seems a little too simple, right? Hey, Katina, it's good to see you. But here's the thing. It's so simple. Y'all going to miss it because you don't know like some of these like core things that like more experienced people do, except y'all not going to, not you on Instagram, not you on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter, because I'm telling y'all to play, right? So let's go ahead and get to it. The third tip I'm going to give you is when they ask you questions like how and concrete steps, a lot of you beginners, you do this thing where you somehow don't explain like how you're going to do it. You talk about how important it is, but you might do things like, so say for example, they're like, how are you going to spend this money? And you're like, well, I need, this, this, and this. It's like, okay, but how is that going to help you level up in your business, right? How much money you're going to spend towards that, right? Like they're going to want to know those questions. You don't want to create a situation where someone's going to hand you $10,000 and they don't know where it's going to go. You want to make it really easy for them to write that press release, right? When they brag about you for picking you, Katina, or picking you, Shaquana, or picking you, right? Like all you out there, Michelle, Kathy, they're going to pick you, Kathy. If you're watching this and you're thinking about it that way, it becomes a lot easier to think about how to tell that story because they don't want to do a lot of extra work. Hey, social ladybug, are y'all all night owls? I had no idea. Like, I swear, y'all are just awake. I am here for it. Thank you. So, yeah, for sure. So your third tip there is like, be really specific about where this money is going. And even though this Venmo grant does not ask for it, especially because this Venmo grant does not ask you for a lot of details, you need to do it. So let me just kind of show you what I mean. So for those of you who are joining us, I am Sean Glaze, and we are talking about that Venmo grant that's due in like 2 days. I'm really excited about it because it is actually a pretty straightforward application, but I'm actually a little nervous about it because it's such a straightforward application that a lot of y'all are going to miss out on opportunity just because you think to answer the questions as they're written. In fact, that's one of the bigger mistakes, but we'll get back to that in a second. Check this out. So this grant, y'all, I'm sharing my screen. I'll switch you for Instagram. We'll do my Sean share where I just kind of flip the camera. There's probably a better way to do it. Notice how they only have really 3 questions that are like longer. And you only have like 1,500 characters to do it. That's not very much space. They're going to ask about They're going to ask you about how Venmo can help you achieve your goals. And they're going to ask you about your experiences with being part of a historically underrepresented community. And so read the questions in detail. But what I want to show you is, let me just flip my screen. Oh, yeah, I can do it that way. So check this out. So here it says, we'd love to hear about your business, your background, and how you made it to where you are today. So you're probably not going to be, you could decide to put some money in there in terms of like, here's, where money would go. But my guess is most of y'all are going to put that here. What does the future look like for your business and how can Venmo help you achieve your goals? This is a really good section, y'all. This section right here, really good section for you to be thinking about telling that how part of your story, right? Telling the numbers, like I'm going to spend this much towards this to achieve this goal, right? Some of you may have heard of SMART goals. You don't necessarily have to think about it that way, but it certainly helps tell the story. And so like, make sure that you make it easy for them to see where their money's going and make sure that you make it easy for Venmo to see how they fit into your success. And then lastly here, this is also another part where you might put some money, right? But a lot of you beginners, when you hear this question about, tell me about like how being a member of your historically underrepresented community may have shaped your entrepreneurial experience, like you kind of skip that. You just kind of skip over it. It's like, make sure that that is something that you're incorporating into your grant applications, and it'll make them so much stronger. So if they didn't ask you how to spend the money, don't take that to mean that they don't care. They probably care. Make it easy for them to write that press release. So that is your tip number 3. Tip number 4. Now, y'all have heard this before if you're in any of my free challenges. So this will be a repeat, but it is worth repeating because a lot of times this surprises you until you see it time and time again. And you get a little bit better at it each time. And I will tell you this, I have over 10 years of grant experience. Like, I know I'm baby faced. I know like I look like a child, but I've been doing grants for a minute. And I also do a lot of research. And I can tell you this, a lot of times when we are putting together grant applications, we do this mistake. And I started this way too, where we just answer the questions the way they're written. And so if you do it that way, then you will miss out on so much stuff. You'll do this thing where you're going to start out, you're going to like tell them a story about you. You'll probably copy paste a bio you had somewhere else and you'll keep it pushing. Do not do that. That would be a mistake. Like we talked about earlier, there's specific things they're looking for, and we want to make sure that we include it. And who joined a little bit later, just as a quick reminder, we have a detailed walkthrough that's in our challenge group at inclusivedatachallenge.com, where we go through every single question for 45 minutes. I know you're going to think that sounds like a lot of time, but I'm really telling you several examples of ways that you can answer these questions. The specific exercises that I do in order to answer these questions, the specific games I play with myself or my community to make sure we can answer these questions, the background research I do on the funders to make sure that you can answer these questions, right? So that detailed walkthrough is in our free Facebook group that happens when you register at inclusivedatachallenge.com. So when I think about that, when we think about that, mistake number 4, just answering the questions, like, y'all think this is easy, I'm just going to bang it out. But I would encourage you to take the time to go through the exercises I talked about, or even just to rewatch this replay to really see like some of the ways that answering the questions as they're written isn't going to get you to the bag. And so the very last thing that I will say is a lot of times the most common mistake you beginners make as you're putting together your grant applications, and this is because of trauma in our community, right? I'm not saying any of this is because you don't know what you're doing necessarily. It's just that the way trauma shows up in our community is money trauma, money decision making, right? And so a lot of times, like, this is how it shows up. And the 5th mistake beginners make when they are going for these grants is they ask for too little money. Now, what do I mean by that here? This grant's only $10,000, right? And what I've noticed when I have talked to community members, and if this sounds like you, I'm not trying to call you out, I'm just saying, a lot of us have problems figuring out how to price things. Ooh, someone just squinted at me. What was that? A lot of us have problems pricing things, right? We underprice ourselves a lot, right? How many of y'all, you don't have to do a show of hands, but if I were to ask you, hey, are you getting paid what you're worth? Are you asking people to pay what you're worth? It would be, you feel some kind of way. Like, it would be a little silent, a little uncomfortable, a little shifting in our seats, a little, hey, why you got to come at me like that, right? And it's not because, again, it's because of the trauma in our community of being underfunded for generations. Like, it comes from somewhere, right? But how it also shows up is in how we price and talk about how we will invest the money in ourselves. So some of you, when you're a beginner, hey, Impact Global Mission, good to see you. I am so excited. We're talking about this Venmo grant that's out for small businesses. It's due in like 2 days. So I want to make sure y'all know about it. Okay, so when we talk about pricing things, they're going to want to know where that $10,000 went, right? Now, remember, that wasn't like the way they wrote the question, but I can tell you that when you look at those detailed terms and conditions, it becomes a little clearer. They're going to want to know where that money went. There's a whole section about it. And so when you're answering this question about like, what are you going to do? What are your next steps? I don't want you to do any of these things, because I see this all the freaking time. Like, I need this to not be you, okay? do thing where you're like, $10,000 would fully fund my business and I'm going to be perfectly fine. It covers all my expenses. I'm going to be able to pay myself and I'm going to be able to buy all this stuff and I'm going to be able to like get a car and I'm going to be able to like get some flyers printed. I'm going to get some social media ads. Like this is going to do all these things. That's what I'm doing with all this $10,000. Ooh, ooh, some of y'all really be doing that. Like, and it's because we're so used to like having to make full, like 4-course meals out of lemonade, right? We're used to like the lemon rinds, right? Like that's what we're gonna use to make those 4-course meals. Not even the lemonade. Like we don't have the water, but we're gonna like mix up those rinds, you know, like maybe put a little salt on it. We're gonna make a little appetizer, right? Like we're so used to that. And so when people ask us what we're going to do with $10,000, we think they want to hear how we're going to do that with their 10K. We think they want to hear something like, okay, I'm going to like use this to change everything. But actually, what they want is something that's realistic and that makes sense. Like that can help them see how they can really help you get to the next level. So they don't want to hear like, hey, I'm going to take this $10,000 and turn it into $1 million. Or, hey, I'm going to take this $10,000 and buy all the things I need in my business and pay myself and all this other stuff. It's like, nah, man. They want to know like you are making business decisions that make sense, that'll take you to the next level. And ideally, that you can see Venmo be a part of that solution. That is not just like, oh, you're going to give me the money, but the other things they're giving you, that's part of this grant, will be part of it too. So they're not just giving the $10,000, y'all. They're giving public promotion on their platforms, both Venmo and PayPal, on their websites and on their social media profiles. They're giving out business resources and professional consulting services, which means that you get helpers, right, to help you with your business. And so they want to know, like, how are you going to use this opportunity to be able to really take it to the next level? But what they don't want to hear is that you're suddenly going to like do a magic trick with $10,000, because that makes you not credible and therefore not fundable. So those are your 5 tips tonight as it relates to mistakes beginners make when they're going after grant funding, especially for grant funding like we see here through Venmo, which is available. If these tips, tricks, tools, etc. helped you tonight, I'm gonna need you to take it to the next level by getting into my challenge. Y'all, this challenge, free challenge, it is for the following people. Now listen, if this is not you, you probably know someone this is for. Black businesses, right? Black nonprofits, Black communities. This is for Black folks. Hey, Nature Well Center. Hey, Josh, it's good to see you. This is for Black folks to be able to talk with each other about how to get funding. And so we want to make sure y'all are signing up so you don't miss out. If you are joining via Instagram, I have pinned that link for you, so you can go ahead and get into this free challenge that has generated over $800,000 from people who win in grants. I don't mean $800,000 from me. I mean $800 for community in grant funding for people who took my free things that I gave in this challenge and like ran with it. And we're doing it even bigger and better this next time. Every time we try to outdo ourselves, this time, it is all over. Like, I can't wait for y'all to get this. Is so good. And I see a couple of y'all signed up. Hey, Shaquana, I'm so glad that you signed up. Be like Shaquana, y'all. Shaquana here. You see Shaquana? Just signed up for the challenge. Be like Shaquana. Because in that challenge group is a detailed walkthrough for this grant. And I will be putting goodies like this throughout the month, because we're celebrating Black Business Month and Black Philanthropy Month. Make sure you go to inclusivedatachallenge.com so you can get all the trainings, the tools, and all those things, but also so you can win freaking money for your community. So with that said, I'm really excited. Let's see. Do current clients need to sign up too? Anyone, everybody need to sign up, y'all. Like if you go ahead and go sign up, like get in that. We have an optional success kit y'all can decide to get. And spanking new success kit, because we're going to be talking about getting millions of dollars this time around. Make sure y'all get some really good tools to help you with that. What are the dates for the challenge? Shaquana, what a great question. Y'all, it is at the end of this month. It is going to be the 23rd through the 26th of August. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? 23rd to the 26th of August. We're going to start at around 5 o'clock Pacific time. Do not be late. Do not be late. We are always going to just like start and go. This is not your mama's challenge. So some of y'all's challenges that you've seen before, that you've gone to, what they do? They teach you like the what, they teach you the why, they don't teach you the how. I teach the how in my free challenges, y'all. So like you want to be there for sure. And you want to be there with your crew so you can hold each other accountable and like support each other. It is intense challenge. It is not an easy challenge, but it is a simple one. It is necessary, right? It is necessary if you're trying to get to funding for real, and not just thinking about it. So I'm really excited for y'all to get into that. I'm so glad. Professional DNA says, this was so helpful. Good. I want to see y'all submit those Venmo grants. So when you submit your Venmo grant, tag me. I'm at Inclusive Data on all social media. I'm also Sean Glaze on LinkedIn and Facebook. Tag me. I want to celebrate with y'all because this grant is no joke. And for those of you who are in that Facebook group for the challenge already, tag me there too. Let's cheer for you because getting a grant in is the most important thing. Awesome. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Oop. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sean Glaze. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm the Chief Consulting Officer for Inclusive Data. Our team has gotten over 18 million in 18 months for Black communities and grants. Grants, other people's money, other people's paper, other people's pockets, whatever you want to call it, free money for our community. And we're doing a free challenge for y'all in August. When? The 23rd to the 26th. What? Get into this link, inclusivedatachallenge.com, and make sure that you follow us on social media because we'll be doing pop-up trainings like this throughout the month. If you have a grant that you want us to look at as part of that, let us know in the challenge group. You might find that we'll do a couple more pop-ups there between now and the challenge starts. That said, Sean Glaze, and I'm out, y'all. We'll see you in the challenge. Goodbye. Good night. Thank you. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Twitter. Bye, Facebook. Bye, LinkedIn. Bye, Meta. Bye, y'all.